Good day, good day, good day, good day, everyone. How you guys doing? It's a pleasure to jump on with you guys today. It's Coach Chadman. It's been a long time since I've done one of these midweek ones, but today is actually while I was doing the actual projections for the day. I thought, you know what? Let me actually kind of like chop it up a little bit today and let's change things. I'm going to jump on the charts. I'm going to look at the actual markets. We'll look at it together and see where we are at the moment. Now, I would have liked to do it a little earlier my time, but I had something to take care of prior to that. And so instead, we'll look to where we are currently in London and then also where we are probably going overall. So as you guys know, we always started off with looking at the news because news is important, understanding what the actual market's going to do for the day. It is a low impact news day. Now, high impact news is sometimes scary for some people, especially if it's NFP, FOMC, and CPI, which it should be because those are the ones that actually take your money. But we do want news. Overall, we want news because news is positive for moving the markets as a whole. So today we have less news, which means there's going to be less movement and probably in some cases choppy movement overall. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to first go to put on some background music so I can sound like a radio DJ, right? Before I actually continue, let me put on some background music over here. And you tell me in the chat if you're live with me. And let me know who's live with me today. Right? I'm sure there's not going to be a lot of people live at the moment because it was kind of like an impromptu stream. But if you are live with me, put something in the chat, put something in the comments. It will jump up here on my side as well so I can see. If possible, type your name in the chat as well so that way I know exactly who it is that's live with me, right? Okay. Then we're going to go to the charts. Now, first things first, let's kind of look at the news as a whole. So what's up for the news today? It is not much, right? This is forexfactory.com. This is where we usually go. Shout out to Rosalie. You're live with me today. Awesome. Lovely to have you. Right? Lovely to have you. Awesome. Live here today. So I'm going to be looking at, shout out to Kaylin as well. She's live with me here today as well. I'm going to be looking at across all these asset classes, and I'm going to try and project to you what I think the market's going to do today and why. Now, usually, this is low probability days because of no news. We want news for momentum, as I said earlier, but nevertheless, we can look at it in any case. Jill's also live with me today. Wow, Jill, couldn't sleep. You're up late. You're very late, but thanks for hanging out with me as well. Awesome. Okay, so today, of course, this is in my time. Forex Factory, we have Wednesday, and we have WEF meetings all day, and we have the ECB President Lagarde speaking, and that's nothing, especially when there's not dollar things happening. Next thing up is if we go to Thursday, we've got some more things happening. I'm expecting, when it says President Trump speaks, I've been trading long enough to know when he was in the market before and he spoke, he used to move the market. So we're going to see some stuff around there as well. We've also got unemployment claims as well tomorrow, so that should see some movement as well. And then on Friday, I personally think that the best day to trade this particular week is going to be Friday. A lot of high impact news, but none of those scary ones that actually blow your account, right? So let's keep it going with that. Early, yeah, I should say early. You're right. Rosie says 7:30 p.m. here. So this is the correct time zone for you, Rosie. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to move you guys over to a different screen real quick, and we're going to look at we're going to start off with Euro USD, which has been giving me a little bit of trouble the last few days because it was at certain points when I do the projection, and the projection and market structure were opposing one another, and that's typical of this time of year. In the early part of the year, especially leading into February, it's typical that sometimes you have this opposing views. But let me share and talk about what I'm seeing so far. Okay, give me a 7 in the chat if you can see my Euro USD chart. Give me a 7 in the chat. Let me know. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing so far. I'm looking at this from a master pattern perspective, and I'll take you from a top-down analysis. Thank you, Jill. So if we look, what we essentially have done is we took out weekly lows. I believe we also in a monthly, thank you, Rosie, in a monthly gap over here, right? So we still playing around in that same particular area. Yesterday I thought we might retrace down one more time, but we didn't get that. And I'm going to talk to you also about what do you do in those scenarios when there's an expectation that it's going to go one way, but then when does price actually show you that it's changing the other direction, right? When does that actually happen? And I'm going to show you that real quick as well. Let me just close some things that are open here. Okay. So how does that actually look? Firstly, we do a top-down analysis. We try and assess what the market is doing overall. So monthly, we've taken out these lows. There's nothing to trade there. Weekly, we confirm as well that there's some lows being taken out there as well, right? And then once we get to the daily, we start to see an interesting picture. Here's what we see that's interesting is we took out this daily low, right? Remember the qualifications for the master pattern. And by the way, for those of you who are not mastermind yet, we're going to be running a cohort soon. And if you're interested in that, please send us an email as well. If you are mastermind, don't worry about it. You're going to get that information in any case. Okay. So we take out that low over here. Then we also progress to clear out that supply FEG, that downward FEG. We then go up. This tells us that's an indication that we are now looking for upward price action, right? Then also, if you look at it from this perspective, we now have this high that we're targeting. We have that high, and we have this weekly volume imbalance. It's just another word for a different type of gap, right? So check what's happening over here. As we're going and progressing towards that, let's see what the market is doing. Some of you might have forgotten this rule. Supply is failing. Demand is holding. That's giving us an indication that the market is printing upwards. So we go down to our 4 hour and we look for that same types of signature again. And I had this on since early morning, but couldn't put it out to you guys in time. So here we are. We get divergence over here, which is a signal to us that the market is going that way. We get price trading into the gap. You guys know that I love the gaps. All right. We go internal. We then go external. And you'll see on the correlated assets, we are going external there. And then we go internal again. What's next? Let me know in the chat. What's next? Are we going to go internal again or are we going to go external likely? So remember, we're seeing this footprint. This is the one side of the master pattern. Now we're targeting the other side, right? Which will be here. And likely, if we get above that high, we do a bounce off that into that volume imbalance over there that's drawing price. External, absolutely. Thank you, Jill. So what do we do in this scenario? Well, since it's fractal, since the market's fractal, let me pull this off to the side and let's see. All right, now if there's a trade here, now I'll take a paper trade for you guys to see as well. So we come into this 4 hour. Our nearest target on the 4 hours right here. Our overall target is there, right? If we go into the 4 hour, we can check if we are external on the 1 hour. Now again, if you look at your correlated asset class, if you look at the DXY here, we are higher, right? Which means we are external. Which then begs the question, if I go to my 5 minute, is there a valid trade here? Right, that's the high. Here's your next master pattern. I'm not going to go as in detail on all of them like this, but check this out. There's that. Down. Now we chop around for a bit. We go down. One more time. Come up. It's forming over here. Now we break up here again. I'd like to see us leave a gap over here. Right? Let's see. We might come back to this one in about 2 minutes or so. And then I'm going to do a standard deviation here as well. Take this from here to there. And we can see that our 2 to 2.5 is over at this level. So that's the level I'm going to watch for an actual target. Now, in an ideal scenario, it would be this low that breaks up, right? That does something. But I'm going to look at where are we? Where's midnight opening price? Another confluence that I gave you guys. Where's midnight opening price? So midnight opening price is over here. It's actually on that high of that candle. Oh no, that's it. So it's a low. That's the high of this one. There. That's midnight opening price. What do we see? We see the market trade above it, go below it again. This is not leaving a gap here. I would have loved to see that gap here, but we do have this. The prices reacted in, traded above, then coming back into it again. Let me just really quickly check on the higher time frame what we got. And what am I simply doing? And if you guys are still with me, let me know. I'm looking at the master pattern here, and I'm attempting to see if we're going to get another one here. Let me check my DXY real quick, and let's see what's happening on my US dollar. Now this one climbed up quite a bit from that level. Let me go to higher time frame. Oh, we cleared that high on that one as well. We still have this in target. I hope I'm not missing this trade by doing this. That in target there. Overall, we tapped that. We went into this level. Let's check if there's divergence at that lows, which will be on the 5 minute. Do we get any divergence over here? That low takes out that low. Yeah, there's definitely over here, because this doesn't take that, but over here it runs below all of that, so that's higher than that one, and also this one and that one. Okay, so there is some divergence there. I know that's a lot, just this trade's quite quick, so I'll talk through it afterwards. I might have missed this. Let's see. Okay, we'll add a position over here. Oh, not an alert. Let me clear that. Delete. This is a paper trade, by the way, everybody. I am not taking a live trade with you guys on stream, because it might influence you to actually take this trade, especially on the open YouTube where I'm streaming right now, and we don't want to get in trouble. Stop below this low and we buy over there. Let's see if we can get that trade to target in. Right, and where am I going to go with my take profit? Likely here in the center of this 2 to 2.5. Now I might take some take profit on the way up there. What am I entering in on? Oh, this was set to the futures market. This is way too little. Let me redo this. My actual lot size is incorrect here. This gives me an opportunity to actually... When you trade multiple markets, you unfortunately have this issue where trading view changes back and forth. But this gives me an opportunity to actually wait till it comes in here, and let's see if I can take this one. Are you guys still finding value in this? Let me know. I'll talk through again once I got it. You know what? Let me just go ahead and click entry there. This is not a big difference. SL at the bottom over here, just for the sake of time. And for now, placing my TP at this level over here. Right? That's not much, more so just showcasing what's possible. Okay, so let me talk through this at the moment, right? What's happening over here? We have price coming into this higher time frame demand, right? You guys with me? Let me know in the chat. The price coming into this higher time frame demand, and when it came into the higher time frame demand, it was external while being internal. That's one of our criteria. It's inside of the zone, and I know if you're not mastermind, you're probably questioning, what am I saying now? But that's why you got to get on the mastermind level. It's internal of this higher time frame 4-hour FEG, right? While being external on the 1 hour. Okay, then coupled to that, we're waiting for the master pattern to appear, which we've established. And I'm going to take some of these things off for clarity. Which we've established is happening all the way from here. We get a bit of this mess, but on the DXY we go lower, right? So we're going up here, up, down, there, and our targets are really above the master pattern high, right? No problem, Rosalie. You might have to watch it multiple times. It's okay. For the sake of time, I have to keep it, keep it kind of like short and run through some of the stuff. But essentially, what I'm looking at is now that price has broken, I'll take this off for clarity. It's broken a supply gap, which is down, right? It's broken, traded up and down, came here, held this demand zone. So broken supply, held demand is an early indication to me that price is likely to want to go up. Now, granted, this is not the best kind of price action that you want to see here. Ultimately, I should have gotten in around about here. That would have been safe. I could have been a break even now. But I wasn't at the chart there because this would be a breaker structure. Right? A break of this supply over here. Okay? And entry into this demand over here. That's a signal the price is going up. And then price starts to go up from that point. So had I been at the charts, the ideal area would have been to enter in over here, inside of this gap with a stop below that low, if that makes sense. Okay, but nevertheless, this is what we're looking at for now. I'm going to move over to the other chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert over here so that we kind of know if we're going to get stopped out. Right? I really don't want to see price go below this red box over there, and then I'm going to set an alert over, let me do 50% of this range that we entered off of. So from here we are kind of looking at the stop. No, what am I doing? From where I entered to where I want to take profit, right? And I want to see what happens when we get here, if we get here. Okay, so got those two alerts on. To me, this is a valid trade even if it doesn't work. The ideal scenario would have been entered in over here or secondly over there, but for the sake of time, I'm entering in just to keep it moving. Okay, on to the next one. And the next ones are going to be so more, not trades, but more so higher time frame overviews of what the market is doing as a whole, right? Okay. We'll move over to NAS 100. Here's what I saw this morning. I'll take you from the top down as well. And this has kind of been what I've been putting out for the entire week, if you've been following since the weekly outlook. Again, from a higher time frame perspective, if we look at the bottom, this is where we got divergence. So that's a signal to me that we're likely going upwards in that direction. This is on the weekly. So the first time frame we want to see turn is the 4 hour. Right, then I'm going to the 4 hour now. And what do we mean by turn? We want to see supply zones fail, demand zones hold. Here's a supply gap that gets broken through, and here is a demand zone that gets held. That's our first signal that a master pattern is appearing this direction. Then we go and look, of course, to see whether or not that is actually true. Is there an actual master pattern? Right? And we kind of have two. I'll highlight. We kind of have three, but I'll highlight some of them. Here's the one. We turn up, we go in, and now we're targeting that. Give me an 8 in the chat if you can see that master pattern over there, right? Give me an 8 in the chat if you can see the master pattern. Okay? So that's something. Then, aside from that, we have this one. Consolidation. This is bigger, it's a higher time frame. Right? That's another one. Right? Another master pattern. targeting that high. So there's two master patterns at least showing that direction on that 4 hour. Then we go to lower time frames, such as looking at right where we are this morning. And I was anticipating it dropping into this 4 hour gap. But price seems to still be moving up. I think it might still do this in New York session. Might come back, drop into one of these levels, then progress up. But there's a lack of news, so there's really a lack of something pushing it down. So it might just gradually grind up to the top. I'm seeing upward momentum there. What is currently happening though is this on a lower time frame. I'll show you the master pattern here as well. Is we've gone internal on the 1 hour, which is there. And this is fractal. Remember, we just established from the higher time frames that we're likely going up. So we've got this demand zone here on the 1 hour. I'm zooming in. We go and look at our 15 minute to see if we're external. I want you to see this. So we look at our 15 minute to see if we're external. We are not external, right? Until, let me just see. We go, in actual fact, I might think this might still come back, unless I don't want to go to ES now, but we might have a situation where this 3 candle is a 3 candle low here. Then it might be external. But what's essentially happening is 15 minute go in, 1 minute master pattern. Check this out. Over and over, same thing. There we go. Where's the turnaround? There. Where's the entry back in? Over here. Where's the target? Over there. Give me a 9 in the chat if you guys see that. Give me a 9 in the chat. Same pattern over and over out of that area. How do you capitalize on this? 2 ways. Make sure that you're trading within the right time of day. So between 2 a.m., which is over here, New York time, boom. Right, and 5, which is still coming. And then secondly, you can look, you can bump your time frames up, get like a clarity on it. Let me take off all this mess, get some clarity on it, and see where's that zone, right? So we come up here, here's where we break, boom. Now where's the clear zone after we break there? Last 2 candles to the downside. And we got this gap over here. It's pretty clear. Enter in over here. Stop below here. First take profit over there. Right? As you can see, that first take profit would have been a 2.57. And that's a 3.8. Almost at a 4 right now. Same progression over and over. How do we know that that was going to happen? And thank you, Jill and Rosalie, you guys are on point today. How do we know it's going to happen? Well, we looked from that higher time frame perspective. All of it was producing a master pattern to the upside. So we know that the likely direction of the market is still up. For New York targets, I'm still looking at these levels. Right? We've now cleared the first target that I had from yesterday and the day before. So still looking at this now. Be careful, because when a new session opens, there's usually a pullback, but that doesn't change the higher time frame master pattern. You guys tracking with me? The higher time frame master pattern is still in the upward direction. So that's that chart. Okay, let's do a quick peek on what's happening on Euro USD, and we'll come back to USD CAD after that. So let's see at the moment, Euro USD. We're seeing some upward movement at the moment, right, out of that level. So I could have waited till that entry. Can you see that? There's the actual perfect entry in that level there. I could have waited till that. That's what I wanted to get initially. But yeah, just for the sake of getting into this trade and actually doing something, that's what I did. Now, you could at this point go to break even by moving price under there, but that would be crazy because you're that close to it. The other thing you could do is not move to break even, but reduce your risk by going over there. And the reason you would do that is we already actioned ourselves off that level. Is there really much reason for us to come back to that level again? It depends on your risk appetite, right? I would keep it under the level that I had over there, right? Or rather, let me modify under here where we keyed off. We actioned there, we pushed in that eye. Let me modify that for now. We'll wait till the alerts go off and we'll come and look at that trade, right? Let's keep it going. USD CAD, I was a bit unsure about this one for the day. I tell you why. We seem to be rejecting highs and rejecting lows, and that is a signal. Somebody say consolidation. That's a consolidation signal. We have no clear direction. We are rejecting off of that high there. You see that wick? And also for these lows, rejecting that low. So at the moment, whether you wanting to be a buyer or a seller, you're either going to go to a much higher time frame or you're going to wait until price gives you a signal. For now, my expectation is if we go below this low, like I'm saying here, buy and sell the extremes. So we buy below that low, short-term buy, of course, because it is breaking down, and we sell above that high, short-term sell, right, because it is breaking up. But that's the two areas that I'm watching, right? We don't know what it's going to do until it actually gets out of that range. So USD CAD for me, not high probability trading at the moment. Likely in this holding bay, because as you saw on Forex Factory, let me show you this, is that, let me go back here. Tomorrow we've got some CAD news, right? So it's in that holding bay until it actually can break out of that area. So tomorrow I expect us to get a lot more movement over there. Let's go back to the charts. Okay, so next one up, GBP USD. Okay, similarly to Euro USD, we came into this gap, this 4-hour gap. I'm projecting it more so a little bit upwards, and the reason I'm doing that is, look at it. It's clear. It's doing something from the bottom up. Now remember, we don't make any one thing our be all. Basing candles, yes, correct, Jill. We don't make anything our be all and end all, but there is a master pattern over here. It's coming down, right? Going up, tapping in, likely overall there, but I'm not going overall there. We want that short-term targets first. Look at what I've got here. FEG midpoint. Write this down for your notes. The 50% of a higher time frame FEG is very good for targets. I'm not talking about entries here. I'm talking about for targets, right? The 50% is great for targets. Okay? Give me a 9 in the chat if you wrote that down. So if we're looking from a higher time frame perspective, again, we go to a monthly. What have we done? We've taken out this monthly low over here, right? So the next time frame we want to look to see confluence that we're pulling back is the daily. We go to a daily. What do we see? We see that a daily supply FEG has broken. We see price breaking up over here on the daily. We see price trading back down to a rally-based rally into that and then pushing up higher. So okay, daily is likely going up. We go to our 4-hour. What do we see? What is the actual footprint here? In, up. So internal, external. Internal, where to next? External, right? And external over here as well. Above every high and above every low is external. Write that down. And then let's look at what's actually happening out of here. Into that gap, out of here should be another master pattern. And do we have that? Let's look even on the 5 minute for some clarity. Check this out. We can go to this one. We can go to that one. Into our level. Target there. And if we do some standard deviation magic, we can look at these levels. 2 to 2.5. Gonna get some reaction there. Likely it's coming close there. And then where's the next one? The 4. Here's the 4. So we're going to get higher than that. Likely, right? You guys tracking with me? Give me a 10 in the chat to let me know that you're still here. Thank you. And you ladies that are active with me today, I appreciate it. So that's GBUSD also looking upward from a 4-hour perspective. I expect some of these levels to get run during New York when New York opens. So we might get a drop down again, but I expect overall continuation to the upside. Nothing is guaranteed. We wait for the master pattern to print, and we wait for the master pattern to produce from that level, right? Let's keep it going. Where to next? XAU USD. Seems like the market's all up. This might be the Trump effect, right? Might be the Trump effect. Thank you, Jill. Still learning. Yes, always a student. This might be the Trump effect. Everything is up. Gold is up. Everything's going up, right? Now, again, remember what I said earlier. I'm going to take you to the weekly real quick. And I said that a midpoint of a long wick or a FEG is very, very sensitive. So that's a midpoint, right? We measure the actual wick. No problem, Rosalie. I know it's fast, especially because I'm doing a stream, right? And we measure the midpoint, which is there. And that becomes really good for targets. Not for entries, but for targets. So I got that weekly midpoint on. Then I go down to the daily, and I'm looking for that master patterns. Where are those master patterns that are likely playing out? And can you see over here, we've got this. All this chop, yes, that's just the Model 3. Going up to target what now? That high, right? But before we get to that high, we're going to have this master pattern over here that's going to give this midpoint, over here that's going to give us on the weekly some resistance. So let me take that off. What does it look like in terms of session timing? Here's what we got so far. Is currently price is keying off of a 1-hour zone. I think we might get a dip back. We'll have to see what happens in New York session. But here's what we're having so far. All this is price coming into that area over here, and when I look inside of here on the 5 minute, you're likely on the 5 or 1 minute gonna see a master pattern over here. Let me show you. Right, there's a 5 minute, and here's your 1 minute. Let's look. Same thing every time. Consolidation on the top, expansion down, expansion down. Now we start going up. This is just a Model 3 with time. And likely targeting that. So they look different on the right always, right? They look a little bit different every time, but same principle over and all. Consolidation to expansions down. Should have done this one here as well. A turn up, then what? Expands. Usually when a new session starts, write this down for your notes. It goes and grabs liquidity, which is there. This is Asia session. Here comes London session. Grabs that. If we clear that now, then likely in New York we come and clear some levels again before going up, right? And that's XAU USD. Hope you guys are finding value in this. If you're watching it via replay as well later today, please let me know in the chat. If you're watching it via replay or on user comments, the chat will be gone at that point. Do the comments, and that way I can respond to you and even know that you were watching it after the fact as well. So then moving on from there, we're moving to Bitcoin. And I know people currently in cryptocurrency, right? You are just like, if you're looking at either Bitcoin or Ethereum, Bitcoin or XRP, I feel like when I tell people it might be retracing, nobody wants to hear that, right? If you're currently invested in that, all you want is higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. Let me know in the chat if that's you, right? If all you want is higher highs. But in a healthy market, there are retracements. We have cleared out the all-time high over here, right? We've cleared out the all-time high. There's a possibility that we're now on a bigger retracement down. However, if I'm looking at what price is doing, up, holding, clear out that high. We did reject quite strongly, but then we didn't continue rejecting from that point onwards. We rejected, They started putting in bullish price action again. This is what I called the sell the news principle. When everybody was trying to buy upon Trump's inauguration, I said be careful, because what we actually might be getting is buy the rumor, sell the news. It was priced in already. But let's take it down to a 4 hour and kind of see what's happening. Yesterday we got this move up. Price came down, should have gone lower, but instead held that area, went up again, and then in its way up, it broke a 4 hour supply gap over here. So now it's likely coming down again, right? To hold. This is a crucial point. We want to see this level that it's broke, hold, including this rally-based rally hold as well. This rally-based rally hold. If this rally-based rally holds and that gap holds, then we're likely seeing higher price action. If price breaks below, write this down if you guys are tracking this later on, breaks down below this level, retests that level. In other words, if it does this, comes down, trades up, hits it again, and breaks down again, then we're likely seeing more downside, right? On what time frame would that be? If this is the 4 hour, we don't want to see that breakdown, a strong rejection of that level on the 15 or 1 hour, then it likely means that we're going to see lower price action for a while. Moving on from that one, the next one we're looking at is XRP. Again, also in a holding bay. I do think there's an argument for an upside, even though we're kind of fighting this level. What I want to see is this level over here on the lower time frame hold, but more so, there is a 4 hour here, this gap that we traded from and pushed down from. If something, here's the thing, here's the note you need to remember. If something was responsible for a down movement, in other words, this pushed price down, if that same thing that was responsible for a down movement gets traded through at the later stage, it's likely to become responsible for an up movement. Why? Because it tells us there was an exchange of hands between buyers and sellers. Okay? So we're likely to go up from that level if we get there. Then last but not least on this, we are looking at the MNQ, which is very similar to the NASDAQ. And at the moment, it's the same thing. We go up, likely to come down in New York into this 4 hour FEG, or might not come down. And here's why we might not come down. Is there anything newsworthy to push it down? That's the question. If there isn't, maybe we don't get down and just gradually pumps up to the upside. We'll have to see. But how do we know if it's going to come down or not come down? We don't care about any of those things. What we care about is where does the master pattern produce itself. And I'm going to be doing an intro to the master pattern class real soon, where I'm going to go in depth and take everyone that's mastermind on a cohort stair step from the beginning again. This is what you look for. This is how you get in. Everything covered, internal and external, but in a very structured way. Look out for that real soon. That's coming soon. I got the content written already. I just have to teach it now. If you're excited for that, give me a yes, sir, in the chat. Yes, sir. I'm knighting myself right now. Give me a yes, sir, in the chat. And I know you're excited for that. And then also, if you're watching this on the replay as well, give me a yes, sir, in the chat. Right? Give me a yes, sir, in the chat. Okay, so likely come down. And why do I expect these down movements? Thank you, Rosalie. Is because when a new session opens up, oftentimes the previous session that you were making money in, if there's been a clear move, the market wants to target that session first and then move that direction. Markets are very slow today, as you can see. Not much going on, and that's really attributed to this factor over here. Nothing to write home about. Orange folder news, no big things. Thank you, Jill, as well. Right? I know there's more people on here with me, but they're not wanting to say that they're here. So thank you to those hiding in the background as well. So this levels, these are not high impact news, so not much going on there. Let's go and look at that Euro USD trade again. Let's see what's going on over there, if there's some movement. And I will then close the stream soon, and we will see what we do. Okay, so we $320 in profit. Could have been more, right? We stopped short of that level. With $320 in profit, let me know if you think that's good. It could have been more had I gotten in at that level. Could have been even more had I gotten at the ideal level had I been in front of the charts there. But nevertheless, based on this, I could realistically move the stop up to that level there and say, you know what? I'm now only willing to lose, what's this? $150 on this trade, right? I could close the entire trade now and make $250. I could take the trade to break even and not lose anything. That's an option as well. But at the end of the day, what I wanted to showcase to you is live price action. Had we gotten in at the ideal points, this is what we'll do. But we got in, pretty close. We got in on that green candle. Also, quick note to yourself. Something before I go. And I should share my screen, right? It'll probably be better. Over here. Thank you, Jill. Can't see it. Let's talk through it again. I was still on the Forex Factory screen there. My apologies. Let's talk through it again. You were with me when I said I'd like to take this entry over here, but we've missed that already. I see this supply zone fail. This demand's on a hold. That's a good signal. Then where do we want to get entered in next? Price produces a gap over there. That's the ideal area to get entered on. But we came a little late there and I was looking at the Dixie. So I just went ahead and entered right over there because we're close enough. And there's room to the upside. In an ideal situation, thank you, Claudette. Thank you for joining. An ideal situation, enter in here, right? Or enter in there. Those are the ideal points. If we entered in here, our stop would be below this low. If we entered in here, our stop would be below that low. Okay? So overall, depending on what your trading objective is for the day, as you can see over here, before I changed back, we went up to a high of $360. If that's enough for you per trade, take that, right? Take that. Jill, you're saying can't see the chart still. Is that still true? Or can you see it now? Maybe that's just a delayed message. So $340 over here. We could take a portion of that. I wanted to take something off when we hit that level, right? That's what I want to take. Why? Because that's 50% of the direction that I wanted to actually take as a whole. So we hit that over there. Boom. That's $410 in profit. Depending on your risk appetite, you could take, my apologies for that noise in the background. That's the alert going off. You could take your entire position off there. If you're happy with that, you could take 80% of the position off there if you're happy with that. Or you could definitely go to break even now, which is over there, right? I actually don't like this break even level, truth be told. If I had gotten in over there, this would be a nice break even. But here's nothing to stop price over here at the moment in terms of this break even. So I'm going to go ahead and instead leave the break even here. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to this position over here, and I'm going to market execute a sell since I'm in a buy, and I'm going to take off half of this position, right? Which in this case, don't mind the numbers over here. It's just because of entering in with I was on the futures market prior to this. So I'm taking off, did I just take off 25,000? Sorry. One more. Here we go. So I took off half of that position over there, as you guys can see. Boom. And now, instead of moving my thing to break even, I'm going to leave it here below this gap over here, because that gap makes more sense to me. And then my overall target, I will now bring to this overall high over here. And that will be that. And we'll come later and see whether or not that has worked, right? So either it gets stopped out. The objective here today was not to showcase how much money I can make on a trade, right? That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm actually done trading for the day already. What I wanted to showcase to you is how we follow the principles. right? And we're following the principles by looking at this higher time frame gap, allowing price to give us that signal that supply is failing, demand is holding, and then after that giving us a correct entry area, which is over there, right? And then after that selecting correct targets, which is we're 50% of the direction that we want to go. And then where does the master pattern actually clear itself at the overall high over here? Now, where should I actually take another profit is over here. And students, mastermind students, you know why, is I usually take profits at the high before the overall high, right? So if we get there, I could set an alert as well and take profit over there. Now, if price comes back and stops me out because I'm not a break even yet, doesn't really matter. Why? Because I won't even lose on that trade because my stop out's at $72 and my actual overall profit that I took there was 170. So I would not get stopped out. I just don't want to be positioned inside of this when there's nothing to protect price, if that makes sense. Lastly, if I go up to a 15-minute or maybe even higher than that, let's see, on a hour, yeah, we still literally can come back all the way down into that entry. But what I want you to focus on is that when you get in on proper levels, it looks like this. It's precision entries, right? Inside of this gap. Boom. That's the ideal point. And if we look at if we did this, if I had enough time to start the stream, we entered there, stop below this low, that's the swing low, there's the gap, right? Where would we be now in price? We'd already be at 2.5 R on that trade. A 2R is a good place to take some profit, and then a 3R and a 4R after that. But that's how we do it, right? Okay, so if you guys are seeing this after the fact, please let me know in the chat as well. Hopefully you appreciated this today over the actual projections. Sometimes we like to chop it up and just show you what we're doing overall. We can't get afraid of this, that pullbacks are natural, right? But generally, what are we looking at overall for Euro USD today? Show you on a higher time frame. The New York session happens. This is why we also, by the way, just as a note, we want to take profit before New York session starts because a pullback is likely. So if New York session happens, we get a pullback, might take out all these levels, but then still continue up in that direction, right? So we want to be aware of that. Quick recap again, NASDAQ still looking to the upside as well. We want to see what New York session does as well. USD CAD not doing anything until we take out either this level or that level. GBP USD still looking to the upside. It seems though that today, if you were trading GBP USD, this is the cleaner price action. Let me show you. Right, we got a clear master pattern here. Stop on break. Right, we trade back in even here. If you took it over here a little later, you got that entry, stop below that low, and then your targets are this high before the overall high, which we kind of just tagged now, and then this high. So there's a chance that the way I get stopped out on that Euro USD is if we clear this level. Watch this when I jump off the stream. If we clear this level on GBP USD and we don't clear that same level on Euro USD, then that means we likely met the target for the session, and I'm gonna get stopped out on that one. But again, it wouldn't matter because if we go back there, I've already taken enough profit, right, off the table. So now there's really just upside for me. Right now, hopefully we just go ahead and run these. I'm not going to take it there. I'm going to try and straight and swing for the fences, as they say. Try to go overall. And you might come back later and say, Coach, you should have followed your principle, which is take it before the high, before the overall high. But we'll see that. Then just to recap again, to move on, gold also. Maybe it's the Trump effect, also looking to the upside. Bitcoin, hopefully we hold that level, looking to the upside. XRP USD, we need to break that. XRP, there's no signal yet. We need to break that level and hold that level. And then lastly, MNQ, Similar to the NASDAQ, we're looking to upward price action overall. But that's been the session for today. Hopefully you guys have found some value in it. If you have, let me know in the chat. I wanted to jump on with you all. And yes, what those of you can do that is live with me, you can track this trade on your own chart and kind of see where we got overall. Let me give that last level there so that you can see. You will know that I've closed the trade once we got above the 104.355, right, on this particular one. Entry, ideal entry 104.1, right? Really ideal entry if we were in the trade, in the session, would be over here inside of this gap, and we should be like 80% of our position would be off if we got in over here. Right now we're swinging for the fences trying to get there. Thank you everybody. Thank you Rosalie, thank you Jill, thank you Claudette, thank you to the two others hiding in the background, not letting me know that they are here. And for those of you who are watching it on the replay as well, hopefully this was valuable. You got to see me enter live over here, and you got to see me take profit live there as well. So the system works. Trust the process, right? Trust the process. You guys be blessed on purpose. It's been Coach Chadwin. Have a good day. Have a good week. I shall see you in the following classes. By the way, Thursday is going to be a good one. We're going to launch a competition there. We're going to do some other things as well. So show up for Thursday's class as well. Myself and Coach Cindy will be live together. So it's going to be a good one as well. Okay? Thank you, everybody. You guys be blessed. Let me put on the outro music, or the outro stream if I can find it. You know, that's what I like about these impromptu calls. It's supposed to be perfect, but doesn't always go that perfectly, right? If you want to learn how to trade, here's what you can do.